Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be doing our first classes in session. This is going to be so helpful for women all over to really talk about certain issues and things that you need to know. So, our very first one, I'm here with Annie. Annie, thank you so much for doing these sessions. So, Annie is actually an insurance agent with a large company. And her passion is really about helping to empower women to make good financial decisions. So today we are going to be talking about car buying. That is so scary for so many women. And let's be honest, so many times things go wrong. So Annie is going to give you 3 tips you need to know when buying a car. Annie?
Well, thanks, Lita, for having me. And I hope that everyone can utilize these skills next time that you go buy a car, since all of us will probably buy a car one day.
Yes.
So I feel like the 3 things that you really need to remember is, number 1, go into the dealership knowing that you don't actually need to buy a car today.
Wow.
Yep, because no one can tell you that you need to buy a car today. Be in control. You're the one that is going to say, I will buy this car, I won't. No one is going to talk you into buying a car. So once you have control of the situation, it's much harder for the dealer on the other side to kind of like kind of almost like force you to buy a car and pressure you to buy a car.
That is so true, and I think I can speak from experience that that's exactly how you feel a lot of times. Nice. So what's number 2?
Be annoying. Be that annoying customer. Ask questions. Ask until the other person is exhausted from answering your questions. So things that you want to ask about is, what am I actually buying? So it's not, when you go and buy a car, once you get into the finance office, you're not just buying a car. You're buying all kinds of stuff. And if you don't scrutinize what they are charging you, you would come out only knowing how much you're paying for each month. I've heard from so many people where they say, oh, I don't know my interest rate. I don't know how many months I have to pay. I just know that my car payment is about $300 a month. Well, those are questions that you actually need to address before you walk out of the dealership.
Wow.
So you need to know whether they are adding extras on top of the price of the car.
Yeah.
So things that are really common are gap insurance, warranty, tire maintenance, prepaying for oil changes. So those are things that you have to say, hey, first of all, how many installments am I paying? If they say 60 months at $300, take your calculator out. Everybody's got a cell phone calculator.
That's very true.
$300 times 60 months is what? And then you say, hey, wait a minute. The pre-negotiated price for my car is this little.
Yeah.
But how come when I do $300 times 60 payments, it's this much? Where is the difference? So you have to start asking questions. Be the annoying customer. What is the difference between the price of the car and when I multiply the $300 by 60 months, that huge number here? What is the discrepancy? And ask questions.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. Really, really good. I can speak again from personal experience how important that is. So what's number 3?
Know that you don't have to buy a car today.
And it's so funny because as women, a lot of times we may feel like we have to grab someone to go with us because we don't want to be taken advantage of. But I love these tips because it empowers us as the consumer to make really good decisions in buying a car and not be taken advantage of.
Well, the more you know, the better. Once you figure out how much I'm going to pay, other than just the car itself, what the dealership is giving you in terms of the finance contract, how much I'm paying a month, well, what about insurance? So many, it's happens so often where people come to me and say, hey, how come you're charging me hundreds of dollars a month for car insurance? My car payment is $500 a month. I'm paying almost $1,000 a month just to keep my car, And I said, well, why didn't you ask before you bought the car?
Wow.
The insurance is the insurance no matter where you go. But you went and bought the car before you figured out how much it costs to maintain this car for insurance, just basic maintenance, oil changes and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And what about property taxes every year?
Mm.
The newer the car, the higher the value, the more taxes you pay. So those are things that you're going to have to expect to pay. So don't go and buy a car without knowing all the answers.
Wow. Those are some really great tips. I hope that you got those all. We are going to keep this posted up there, and this is just the beginning. We're going to have a lot more tips with Annie, classes in session, so definitely make sure to stay tuned because we've got a lot more. Thanks, Annie.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.